Hello, everyone. It's
Howdy.
William and Andrew here from Allegory Gallery. Look, sun out the window. Not quite,
Kind of sun.
not quite sun. Daylight, at least, right? Daylight out the window. This will help with seeing gemstones, hopefully. So, happy Monday. Happy Monday. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. I am. I'm somehow making it through my day on very little sleep. We were up late last night. Andrew was up all night. I was up late working on some things for the store. We got all, I believe, of the Desert Discoveries sorted and packed. Not packed in like how it gets shipped to you, but packed up for Barb to pack up to ship to you. So all of those should be flying out the door in the next, some of them left today, and more will leave throughout the week. So if you've been waiting, they're on their way very, very soon. And so today we're going to show you more gemstones. None of these gemstones that you're going to see today are in any of the Desert Discovery packages. So you don't have to worry about, oh, what if I get this or what if this comes? We're not going to have to worry about that. Everything here is new to everybody. So if you see something you like, please do grab it. Quantities of these are extremely limited. Some of these we only have one or two of, and we're not going to be getting any more. Andrew handpicked all of these in Tucson. They were inspected for quality. Andrew made sure he grabbed the best of the best for you at every price point. So we're gonna have a few to show you today. We're gonna keep going all week long probably. With, usually we've been doing about 10 to 15 or so a day. We started last Wednesday, I believe. So 10 to 15 a day, so that we don't overload you, because we know it's a lot. And if we threw like 50 strands at you at once, you'd all be like zoned out by the end of the video, probably. Marianne Sawtell, yes, Barnaby is here trying to look out the window on my lap and just
trying to encourage you to go out.
He's trying to get me to go outside.
He's like, oh,
look how nice it is.
Outside.
The outside, it's so light out. He has taken to liking doing these lives with me, apparently. The last few lives, he comes and sits on my lap and tries to get up in the camera and kisses the camera. So you might see Barnaby make an appearance here soon.
He's like, gotta talk to Cinnamon.
Gots to see Cinnamon, gots to show my face. Huh. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Cinnamon.
He says, hey, Cinnamon.
Be careful with him.
Says, hey, Cinnamon, what's up? Even look. There you go. All right. So that's Barnaby. That's my buddy. So, yeah, it's been a busy day. I've wrote some emails today. I sent out an email newsletter about all these gemstones in case you are on the email newsletter, but you don't watch these lives, which I'm not even talking to you then at this point. But if you have friends who don't watch these lives or don't like lives, I know some people don't like videos, right? It took me a very long time to actually like videos over photos on all the social media sites. And I still kind of...
I like both.
I like both. Andrew likes both. He watches a lot of the videos. I don't watch as many of the videos as I do look at pictures. So it is, I get it. So if you're friends with somebody like that, please let them know. We send out emails. We send out text messages. I did that today too. I wrote a blog post about our gemstones and how we're getting started with showing these from Tucson. I started a YouTube short. So there's going to be a new short coming out after this video, because it's about the gemstones in this video. So I can't show it to you yet because I want these to be a surprise until you get to see them. So I worked on that today, and we had a few people in.
We took the car in.
We did. We got up very early. That's one of the reasons I'm very tired. Very early. We got up at 8, or I got up at 8. Andrew was already at the cottage and had been there all night. But I went to bed at about 4 or 4:30 last night. By the time I got home and ate a little something, did a little bit of work for my other job, and showered and got ready for bed. It was about 4:30 in the morning. And then I got up at 8. Thank goodness I got up. My alarm was going off. I wear my watch. If you all have an Apple Watch, you know that it can tap you awake in the morning is what it does. And it had been tapping for about 14 minutes, apparently. Thank goodness it didn't stop because I finally woke up enough to feel it tapping me. And Andrew had just messaged me about something else. So I was just getting up about then. I threw on clothes, brushed my teeth, and took my pills and vitamins, and we ran out the door to deliver the van that had been keyed in our parking lot, or a parking space, our driveway. We
At
took
the store.
Huh?
It could have been at the store.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was here, but anyway, we took it to get repainted. I think they have to paint the back fender and the back door. So we took that early. Had to be there by 9, which for us is early. For some of you, that's like probably mid-afternoon. But for us, that's early. And we dropped the car off, came home, made a little bit of breakfast, and got some things together, started writing my to-do list, and set out for the day. Nice people came into the store. We saw Grace today, who was one of our helpers before, and she came in and was looking at some stuff. And our friend Steve came in, and we were chatting a little bit. He brought in some rocks and crystals for us to look at. So it's been an interesting day. Someone else came in, and I forgot to get her name, which was awful. But we had a good time talking about she does polymer clay work, and she was looking for some cabochons to work with polymer clay. So she bought us some stones and some cabs and some chain and things like that. So that was really nice. I like to see people who work in different things but still use all the stuff that we supply. It's really cool to see what people can do. So, yeah. And then I closed up the store real quick and drove home so that I could start this live with all of you out there. So thank you for joining us here. I'm gonna go back and
Is anybody watching?
see who's here. There's 20 people watching, so let's see who you are. Wow, I'm going over names. Hit that thumbs up, please. Please hit the thumbs up. Hit the hearts. Hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Hit the follow button if you're on Facebook, or like. Sometimes they don't give you the follow button. Sometimes they give you the like button still. I don't know what they're doing. Hello, Marianne. Hello, Norma. Thank you both for joining us. Suzanne, of course, is with us. Suzanne says Cinnamon says hi, Barnaby. The flirtation back and forth. Harry is with us. June is tuning in. Hello, June. Good to see you here. All these names, I'm like, I packed up things for them today. I sorted things for them today. That's another thing I did. I sorted the gemstone lots that all of you all have bought so far. So if you've gotten an invoice for the gem lots for the past 2 or 3 days, I have sorted most of those out. I still have some at the cottage, which I have to take a look at and grab. But I think we sorted those before I left. So those are just need to go in the online store. But yeah, seeing all these names. Thank you all for all of your support. Susan is with us. Hello, students. Hey, Lennis. Thanks for joining us. Susan says, for the most part, I prefer photos, but videos are fine too. Yeah, I do. I like photos because, you don't need to turn down your volume and make sure it's not going to blast you when you play the video, right? Because that's a thing. And you can do it in the quiet, right? You can just look at the pictures. But videos are good for things like this, like gemstones. And that's one of the reasons we do these videos, to show you all this new stuff, because you get to actually see the color and the shine and the sparkle and the reflection and the chatoyance and all that good stuff that is in gemstones that you can't really grab easily in a photo. Maybe if you're, like an actual photographer, which we're not. So we do our best, but the videos definitely help that. Hello, Helen. Thanks for tuning in. Janice is with us today. Thank you for joining us. Let's move back. Skipped. Lena says, big car for us too. Power steering leaking. Oh no. That's no fun. And sometimes, depending on how big your car is, when you don't have the power steering, it is hard to steer your car. I once had a MR2, a Toyota MR2, and the power steering wasn't working. Luckily, it was a little car, and the engine was in the back, so it was very light in the front, so it was still easy to steer, but it was harder. But I know it can get very hard sometimes to steer. Susan says, that's terrible, assuming the damage was deliberately caused by some nefarious person. Yeah, you never know, right? Woke up one day, looked over at the van, and there's a giant line down the side, which was just like if I stood at the van with my arm down and just walked across, that's where I would have keyed something. So
Is somebody shorter than you now?
oh, Andrew knows.
You can tell.
He says you can tell. Anyway,
and it wasn't like, if you run into like something like a metal something and it scrapes, it would be like a one solid scratch. Like the line would be
you're not gonna like, it's not gonna like wave in and
gravy.
out, or like scratch here, skip a little, scratch here, skip a little. And it's usually a bigger, right? Because you're hitting something. Even if it's another car backing out or something, you're getting a bigger scratch. This is one line. They got hard, like thicker, well, not thicker, but deeper, and then less deep.
Let's just say it got line weight.
It's got line weight, Anderson. Using that art school terminology there. Yeah. So, and when
I taught them, they get line weight too.
So when we took it to the garage, and I was like, yeah, we got keyed. They're like, yep, you did. So hello, Diane. Thanks for joining in. Did I read that correctly? Did Chris actually get to pet Miss Barkey to him? I think I saw that. I don't know if that was, if I had the right dog in the right context. I was like, what? Let's see here. Hello, Bonnie. Bonnie is with us. Susan says, I honestly can't remember everything I've ordered. That's okay. Hopefully we'll get it all together for you. It'll all go out shortly.
Be delighted.
I know you're gonna be delighted, right? With all the, some people have some big boxes going out, so you're gonna be extra delighted, I think.
Yeah, we're finally catching up.
Yeah, we are finally catching up. I'm watching the store because
knock on wood.
I know.
Knock on wood.
Knock on.
Barb's supposed to go on vacation.
Barb is leaving the end of this week again. Barb, I don't know. They go on vacation a lot. I don't know where they.
Once a month. I was like, damn.
I know that was nice. I guess when you're semi-retired, that should be the way things are, right?
Let people know that if we have opening in this physical store, if we're going to be looking for somebody to come in 1 or 2 days a week.
Probably 1 or 2 days a week. Probably starting like April-ish. Because we need some help. I need a day off once in a while, or not even a day off, but a day to do other things. Andrew and I want to do more filming for YouTube. So we need one of those days. So a day or two, if you're local and you're interested.
This is a good job for somebody who is semi-retired or retired.
Yeah, and you're just looking for something to do, looking for some fun stuff to be around all day. Be creative.
It's really boring.
It can be, sometimes it's counting beads. Sometimes it's, adding things to the online store, taking pictures. If you consider that.
We'll start them off just as just shop help.
Maybe. We'll see. Whatever you feel like. You don't have to, like, if you're not used to, doing stuff on the computer, but if your computer skills are good, even better. Even better. The things we do are not generally difficult, but sometimes they take time. And we need somebody who can help spend some time with us. So if you know anyone in the local area who's looking, it's always great, like Andrew said, to have semi-retired or retired, looking for something to do and be creative and hang out. We will not always be there with you, but sometimes we will. So
it's also good. Like, it's not really good if you're in school still, unless those are your days off.
Yeah.
because
we're unfortunately not able to do a lot of day switching. Like, we want to pick a day and be that day. So if you have a schedule with some other place that you work and they're giving you like a different schedule every week, that's really hard for us.
Yeah.
So it has to be like probably looking for someone like Monday, Tuesday, something like that. So if you know someone, if you're local, if that's you, please stop by the store. I'm there pretty much every day, but Tuesday and some Fridays. But feel free to stop by or send us an email. Email's up here somewhere, one of these sides.
info@allegorygallery.com.
info@allegorygallery.com. Let's see here. Amanda is with us. Thank you for joining us. Got to have cat videos as well as photos. Cat videos are good, right?
Yeah, how are they going to flirt?
How are they going to flirt?
Cinnamon's going to lose out on them pictures.
Marianne says a Pizza Hut employee was shot here yesterday. It's crazy. People get wild.
For what?
Huh?
For what?
She just said better keyed vehicle than being randomly shot. Pizza Hut.
That's always right.
Janice says sounds like a bored young kid. Very most likely, right? Most likely.
Maybe.
Let's see here.
I'm gonna get my slingshot.
What is going on? Where? I just saw it. There it is. Susan's the car power steering issue reminds me. My brother once had a '69 Chevy Chevelle, no power steering or brakes, no AC, AM only radio, and a V8. It was like driving a tank. I bet it was.
How are they gonna stop?
I bet it was. That's in the olden days. They didn't have those, right?
Brakes?
They didn't have power brakes, like power steering, power brakes.
I was
they
like,
had brakes.
What'd they do?
Just like they just
style?
Use your heels, right?
Greg did that one time.
What?
The brakes went out on the Mustang, and he was cruising around downtown Asheville.
No way. No way. Bonnie says, my son has a Tesla, and he's always getting keyed. People just don't respect other people's property sometimes, right?
That's because of that Elon Musk.
Could
People
be.
get the hate.
People get the hate for the Elon. Harry says, I saw a shipping notice today. Good, good. Lena says, mechanics said new cars don't work like old cars. They stop steering completely now. Wow.
That's wild.
That's not safe either, right?
I guess it is more safe.
Not if it goes out.
Yeah, but in theory,
it's like losing a
stop when you're
driving down the road. It goes out. That's not good.
That's when you go to put it in neutral, coast to the edge, and put your blinkers on.
How do you get to the edge if you can't steer?
Does it just stop?
I don't know. She said they completely stop steering. That's scary. Diane, Lady B begrudgingly lets him pet her for a couple of minutes, then she will jump down and start cussing him out in dog language again. Oh boy. Suzanne says, can I work from home? I wish. We'd have like weekly shipments down to New Orleans and back. Oh, Susan says, if I were closer, I'd apply. Diane says, if only I were retired, right? I know. We can't beat your pay. Sorry.
I
know. And your benefits, right?
Maybe one day.
Jenna says, if I worked there, I'd never get a paycheck. That's the kind of worker we need. One where we can pay him beads. That's perfect.
Yeah, and you have to take at a regular interval.
Yeah, you can't save it all up.
One time we were trading with somebody and they saved it up, and I thought I was gonna pass out.
They had quite
$4,000.
They had quite the
what?
Yeah, it was like ooh wee. Please don't bankrupt us in one day. Yeah, regular paychecks by bead checks.
Mm-hmm.
Susan says, counting beads sounds very zen. If you can get into that state doing that, more power to you. I can't. It's not my thing.
Sure, you can.
Maybe
can
with
do
practice, but I ain't got that time. I ain't got time to
You can do
practice.
anything.
You can do anything if you have time to practice. Let's see. Marion says, too long of a commute. Yeah, I don't think we could even cover your gas money back and forth.
No.
Bonnie says, college kids, sometimes, maybe. Yeah, sometimes that works because college kids.
Damiana was great.
Damiana was
awesome.
Damiana was awesome.
Maybe she wants to come back. She's probably done what's
So
going
when
on.
are you graduating? You want to come back to the same place you were at before?
She's probably going to be like a brilliant scientist.
I know. She's like, I don't need to work for beads anymore. College kids can be great as long as they are dependable and reliable.
But that's like anybody.
That could be anybody. They do generally have computer skills, which helps, and they are good with the technology. We could definitely use help on TikTok and stuff like that. I wish we could afford a social media person to help. That would be great. But it's us for now. It's us for now.
Just because somebody's younger doesn't mean they're good at it.
No, we've been shown that.
Native to that technology.
Yeah, we've been shown that. We've had college age kids or high school age kids, and they don't know how to use the printer, or they don't like. It's everybody can, I don't think skills are based on age at all. So we try not to do any type of ageism, whether it's younger or older. One of the reasons we say retired or semi-retired though, is because a person in that circumstance in life generally can stay with us a little longer. Generally kids in college like to, they're here in a summer and then they're gone to college again, or they're moving on to a different job somewhere. But somebody who's semi-retired or retired who enjoys crafting and making things and jewelry making.
Or a stay-at-home parent that doesn't have active kids.
Right? Yeah, could be that too. But yeah, we try to look for the long term. Because it's a lot to train somebody to do, because every new person, you have to evaluate, their skill set and what they're able to do and kind of adjust what you want them to do based on what they can do. And then slowly incorporate and teach them new things. And that takes a lot of time just to get that base level set. And then if they're like, oh, see, I got another job, which is going to be my career. And you're like, good luck. We wish you the best. Now we got to train someone else again. And
they're also contractors, so it's a very different, it's not like an employee. Yeah.
So Carla says, I'll watch but cannot buy. I've bought enough this month. Do you have a layaway plan? We have multiple ways to have kind of layaway plans. On any of our invoices, we turn on Afterpay. So from $1 up, as long as your invoice is $1 up, and I think it's only in the US, you can activate Afterpay. Now it is generally, I don't think, you have to check on this depending on the plan they put you in. Some of them do run a credit check, some of them do not. I don't think these ones, most of them do. But you do have to be approved for it, and it is like a small loan, so you have to be approved by whatever bank Afterpay uses. But you can put things on multiple payments by doing that. So on any invoice we send out, there's the Afterpay possibility. So you can sign up for that if you want. And in the online store, we use ShopPay, which is powered by Affirm. So you can break things down generally into 4 payments, usually with no interest. Or you can break them up into longer, like the bigger spends, you can break them up into longer, and usually they have interest, and they do run a check. Not a hard check, but a soft check. A lot of stuff. But if you are able to do that, then yeah, we do kind of have that. And if you've been a customer with us for a long time, we often can also work with you too. on things, and we've done that in the past. But with all these options around, it's much easier for us just to say, try the Afterpay, try the shop pay, and go that route. So I know you were kind of joking, but actually, yes, we kind of gesundheit. We kind of do.
We used to self-fund that, and we almost went bankrupt doing that.
Yeah, we used to do a lot of setting things aside and let people pay on things, and sometimes they'd pay a little bit, and it would just kind of fall off their radar. And
then we have to be like the bouncer.
Yeah, we got to be the bad guy when we say, "Hey, payments due.
Money.
Payments due. I got bills. You got stuff." It's not fun. So we try to. That's why we've transitioned a lot of that stuff off of us to these other services, which do that. And I know they're not perfect, and they do tend to help people with better credit over people who don't have great credit or people who are just starting out. But it is much safer for us on our end, and we feel less like the bad guy if things go crazy.
If you ever have any problems, just let us know and we'll figure something out.
Yeah,
because we have the autonomy to help people and do things that other people can't do.
We grew up with like very little, so we know what it's like, and we're always willing to try to help.
Like when I was young and I grew up really poor, and there was a shop owner, and she kind of figured out that I didn't have a lot of money, but I still tried to support her. And so she would do little things and give me little jobs where I'd unpack her boxes and help her price stuff and clean things. Or I made little polymer clay sculptures and we would sell them in her little shop. And so we kind of try to feel like we want to do that for other people.
Yeah, too. What's the point of being a small business if you can't do some of that with people and for people? Let's see here. Amanda says, on Sunday, as soon as I went out for a walk, it started snowing. Then it snowed all day. It's been snowing off and on today a little bit here.
It snows more at the cottage.
Yeah, it was snowing up at the cottage today. It was snowing off and on yesterday and today here.
If you're on the Patreon, I put a post about the snow this morning.
Oh, so if you're on the Star Cottage Studio Patreon, patreon.com/StarCottageStudio, I have a banner for that. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Where is it? There it is. If you're on that, if you've signed up for that, Andrew posted today about the snow. I haven't even read that yet. Oh, comment skip. Vanessa said, if everyone took up beading, there would be a lot less crime and anger. Very possibly. If everyone took up some kind of nice hobby, right? So find yourself a hobby. Stop being angry at the world. Find a hobby. Although there are things to be angry about in the world, right?
I think it's one of those things, though, where you're definitely right. Like, when we have our open tables and people come in, they're maybe diametrically opposed with their politics or their beliefs or completely opposite spectrum. And somehow between the act of making, there's this common ground that gets established and people can learn from each other. And
yeah, we've had a lot of people who are very opposite us on the political spectrum come in. And, you know, when you sit down with people and you get to know people, it's hard for there to be that much distance, right? And you do find common ground, and you do, you know, start to acknowledge that, oh, these people are having some hard times, or, you know, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing to sit down with people sometimes and just create. Carla says, retired teachers get paid on the 25th. Wait to show us more till then.
What's today?
I know we got too many days. We gotta make some money in between there. I wish if we could take a vacation until then, I would do it. Let's do it. I know Andrew's like, let's go, but we can't. But I'm sure there will still be a lot on the 25th. Or I could, and you could stay home and man the store.
No, you have your other job.
They give me a day off or two.
That'd be fine.
Andrew's trying to get out of everything.
I almost went last night.
He says, it's gone.
Don't go to the beach.
Go to the beach.
So who got a beach house?
And it's meteorological spring, says Marianne.
What? Today?
Is it today? I don't know.
That's 20.
I don't know. She said, I don't know. I think she know.
Spring equinox.
Meteorological. I don't know what that means.
Is it like Weather Channel?
I don't know. Let's see.
Well, it snowed for your first day of spring.
Marianne says, I'd be on the road constantly. Yeah, you would.
Get that teleporter.
I know. This is good because I am tech savvy old lady. See, can happen. You can be tech savvy or not at any age. Teresa says, no school tomorrow, snow day up to 12 inches of snow. Whoo. Lenna says, just read an article about tech and Gen Z. Just because they're good at app-based doesn't translate to physical tech like printer. That is true.
Brandon was talking about that.
Yeah, my friend was talking about that. Yeah, it's I'm Gen X. We grew up, with actual computers, not tablets. A lot of kids now, they have the phones, they have the tablets, and they are good at that app stuff. They're good at learning the apps. They're good at using the apps. But if they had to repair their own devices, like we back then did, your video card went out, you had to go buy a video card and install it in your computer. Those are the things I grew up doing. And
remember when you had to put your own modem into the computer?
Yeah, most computers didn't come with modems. So you had to buy your modem separately and install it.
Even I did that.
Put the card in, sit it down in there, screw in the little things in the back, and you had your modem. And it was the same with the video cards and your sound card if you wanted to upgrade your sound card to Sound Blaster, right?
Oh my God. And then it was before like YouTube.
Oh my goodness, way before. I didn't even have Windows on my first computer. It just had DOS. DOS.
The green and black.
No, just all white and black.
I had green and black, and then
that's Commodore had green and black.
There was the amber and black.
I think,
and we would play this video game that was so it was like 32 pixels.
Yep.
It was so busted.
I think I played Doom. I think Doom was one of the ones, and some of the games were just text based, right? It would show you the text, and you'd have to answer the questions, and you go on to the next one. And that
you had to switch the discs in
the
middle of the game.
Yep.
Oregon Trail style.
Yep. So
floppy discs in.
So kids are good with tech in the way that they don't have to do anything with the hardware side of things, right? Hardware is like outside of that realm. It's all virtual apps and stuff, right?
And some people, they're like on it and in it to win it. Like Brenda Schrader, she does TikToks and does stuff every single day. I was like, girl, I don't know how you can shuffle around so much.
I don't know how you got the time.
She got them filters going.
I know. She gets wild. It's
does the stuff with the memes. I said, how you do this? This stuff with the memes.
That's a lot of research.
Yeah.
It's a lot of research. Carl said, my daughter called, must go pick up the granddaughter. See you later. Hopefully you can watch the replay.
She don't have no money till the 25th.
She said, I don't need to watch the replay anyway.
She'd be like, I'll be watching on the 25th.
Right. Amanda said, yesterday I wanted to make something, but couldn't settle on what, so I started wire wrapping beads. That's a good start, right? It's a good start. Marianne said, March 1st. Real spring is the 21st. I don't know. Spring equinox is next week. Bonnie says, we have open water at our river cottage. You're welcome to come dip your toes in, Andrew.
Who is this?
Bonnie.
Oh, you're too far away.
He says you're too far.
Minnesota, right? It's cold there. It's colder than here.
He says forget it.
We would go to Milwaukee, which is not that much higher, and we'd go in June, and you'd be like, it's cold.
You had to wear layers.
Maybe that's also the wind coming off the water.
Yeah. Susan says, technically I'm a boomer, born in 62, but I identify more as Gen X. Yeah, Andrew and I talk about that, the boomer, Gen X, and millennial, how they all switch dates and run together. And really, you know, I think to a certain degree, I mean, they say there are cutoff dates, but to a certain degree, and that's just what Andrew was kind of talking about, it's how you grew up, right? I grew up way out in the country. We didn't have cable TV. We didn't have dial-up internet until I was pretty much 18 or 19. Maybe a little bit earlier, because my friend actually had a family relation that started an internet company just so we could have service in our area. So it was kind of that, it's like I grew up definitely without technology to a certain point, and then it started happening, right? So yeah, it all depends. It all depends. Marianne says, plug in Ethernet and dial up, and before that, mainframes with key punch cards. Yeah, I never got to work on a mainframe with a key punch card. My grandmother, she helped in my elementary school and I think high school before I was in there. And she helped, I think she was there and helped get the very first mainframe they ever had up and running. And she would talk about doing the key punch cards. So yeah, I never got to do the key punch cards myself, but she told me about them.
Did y'all hear about that new one called Zalpha?
What's Zalpha?
Generation Zalpha.
No. Z and Alpha?
Uh-huh.
They're coming back around.
It's a micro generation, apparently.
All these Xennial, Zalpha.
And be like, how do you spell Xennial? Because you can spell it with an X or a Z.
Yeah. Whether you're on one end or the other, I guess.
If it sounds the same.
Oops. Amanda says, my first computer was borrowed from my friend that was in computer engineering. He had it set up so nicely for me, and the modem dial-up was really loud. Yeah, that grinding, beeping sound. Yeah.
I don't miss that. Or when it would download something, and it would be like, it would start downloading, and it'll be like, oh, your download will take 4,000 years.
Yeah, Windows was not good at estimating downloads. I only had Windows back then. Then I got some Macs, and they weren't much better at estimating downloads. Susan says, oh, the days of DOS and floppy disks, right? Yeah, there were the 3-inch floppies, I think 3 1/4 inch, then the 5 1/2 inch, right? And then there were big ones, like they were maybe 10, and those we used at the job actually that I work at still one day a week that I go to. They had a big computer system that ran on these cartridges, so they would back up. So they had these big, they were about this thick and about that big, and each one of them had, I think, 10 of those big floppies inside of it. So they were like, you know, like almost like a CD carousel, but for floppy disks. And you would put 2 of those down in the machine, close the lid, and that's what it backed up to.
I bet you could back that up on your phone and run it all on your phone.
Oh, you can run the whole thing on your phone now. Yeah. I mean, it's an old AS400 now. So it went from a big machine that literally took up probably 10 feet by 4 feet. And then it was probably about 5 feet high. So it went from that to right now, that whole system is running on like a little tower, pretty much. And it's backed up now with tapes. They look like cassette tapes. And they're very expensive, apparently. Like $300 to buy one of those little tapes.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't back up on
the cloud.
Well, it's not connected. But I don't know why it wasn't backed up on like CDs or something. But
well, CDs, now you can't even hardly play them.
I know.
We had to buy a special CD player for the CD-ROM for our programs that apparently are ancient.
Yeah. Well, Andrew wanted to watch a Blu-ray on his, or just a CD, I think, on his...
A DVD.
A DVD, that's right. A DVD at the cottage. And our computers don't have DVD slots or CD slots anymore, so we had to go buy a special thing for that.
Remember when they would, a DVD wasn't long enough, so you had to have 2 DVDs?
I know.
And it was like an intermission.
Oh, the days. Right now, everything just streams if you're lucky. If you're in an area where you can do that. Some of the United States here still doesn't have broadband. We're working on that, apparently. Hello, Sandra says, what did I miss? Just chat time. Just chat time so far.
I think there's some stuff coming up that you won't like.
Yeah. Marianne says, talk, Sandra. That's right. Missed talk so far. Vanessa says, fellow Gen Xer here. Hello. Let's see.
There are cultural references that people won't necessarily get. Mm-hmm. Like, I was playing Fiona Apple in the store one day, and this girl comes in, and she's like, oh, this is really good. And then I was like, who's that? She said, who's this? And I said, oh, it's Fiona Apple. And then she goes, oh, my mom listens to the oldies too. I was about to be like, get out.
Get out. Terry says, we had a wall phone when I grew up. We had a corded phone. We didn't have the wall phone. My grandparents did. But we had a wall phone with the little spiral cord was like 10 feet long and stretched out still. And then not only that, but we had the cord that went into the wall was like 10 feet long. So you could take, like, our house was small. You could pretty much take the phone into about any room and carry it around with you. We had one line. When we finally were able to get some dial-up internet, my mom put in another line so that we could have a computer line, because we kept not being able to get calls because me and my brother were always online, mostly me. Susan says, I remember key punch cards from high school. See, I missed the key punch era. I wasn't involved in any of that.
What's key punch?
The computers ran on cardboard cards that had special cutouts.
I think we still had some of that.
I don't know if my school did. My school, actually, for as small of a town that we grew up in, my school was kind of technologically, like, kind of advanced. Like, we had computer classes on Apple computers before most of my friends in the surrounding areas had them in their schools. We had computers in almost every classroom pretty early.
I think Apple made a deal with the schools.
Most likely. Because we had a whole computer lab, which no other school around had a computer. They built an extension onto our school and moved the computer lab in there.
Who remembers laser discs?
The big laser discs, right? I wanted a laser disc player so bad. Thank goodness we never got one, because that was like a blink and they were gone.
There were like 4 movies that you could watch.
Yeah, there was like Blink and the Laserdisc era left. And I did, though. I had a mini disc player. I loved my mini disc player, but they did not catch on, unfortunately. They were, if you don't know, they were mini CDs. They were about this big, but they were in a plastic sleeve that looked like a floppy disk, but it was smaller. And Sony had a Walkman, which was a mini disc Walkman. And they were the very, very first portable CD, I think, that you could record on. So you could record your own voice, just like a cassette tape. And they held, by compression, they held as much as a big CD on that tiny little CD.
That's cool.
That was really cool. I wish I still had it just to have it for nostalgia's sake.
That's like my first iPod. Which is 20 years old.
You have it like at the store somewhere, isn't it?
It still works too.
if you have the 8-prong or the big prong connector to charge it anymore.
Correct. I still do.
He says, I do.
That one it's frayed all to get out, and it plays not as many songs. But that thing is built like a brick. Before, like, oh, it's so small.
I know.
So sleek.
Now they feel big compared to our phones that do everything. Amanda says, remember the bulletin board chats? Chat rooms, bulletin boards,
Yahoo,
AOL.
Oh my goodness.
AOL
I
used
still
to
have friends from AOL times that I've never
right.
met, and they're like,
remember when AOL was like its own self-contained thing? Like you didn't go on the web, you went into AOL and they had all the chat rooms set up, and yeah, that was interesting, right? The first entrance to the web. It's kind of like you think now, like what is the metaverse going to be? And the first entrance to it is kind of like that. Like every company is designing their own kind of gathering place in the metaverse, and you can go in, be a little person in there. I think Facebook, they don't have legs and pants yet. They just have top halves. Maybe they've changed that. I don't know, but it's like every company is designing their own entrance into the metaverse. Barnaby says, I'm going to get around you. Susan says, I remember a friend trying to download a movie in the mid-90s. Took them overnight to do so. Oh, yeah.
It could take weeks.
I didn't even try movies. I just tried music. Downloading music. Remember, you weren't supposed to. But
Napster.
You would... Napster, and what was the other one?
Shazam
is the LimeWire. LimeWire was the one I used the most. I had a Mac, and LimeWire seemed to work the best. And you would load up your queue before you went to bed, right? Because it took a lot of computing power to do it during the day, so you couldn't do too many things at once. So you'd load up that queue before you went to bed, and you'd hit download, and you'd try to do that.
There was a girl that I was in school with, and she made a tidy profit because I guess her parents did something in the tech world, and so they had like super fast computers, and so
that 56K baud modem, right?
And so she would sell basically mixed tapes that she downloaded.
Nice.
And sometimes the songs, they would start off as one song, and then there would be like something in between.
Yep. See, it's like, you know, like now trends catch on, and if you catch on at the right thing, you ride that wave. It's always been that way, right? It's always been that way.
Well, like that, some of our friends, they got on the YouTube early. They were early adopters on YouTube, and they make thousands and thousands of dollars off of videos that they made 15 years ago,
and they're still making money on them. Don't have to redo anything.
And the videos are all janky and stuff.
They're like this big on the screen now.
And they're
like... But they're up there, right? Sandra says, that is so funny. 5.5-inch floppy DOS commands and dot matrix printers, right? With the paper with the tabs on the end. Every time you print a computer or print a report out for school, you had to peel those tabs off.
I hated that stuff.
I used to make the big banners for my mom's birthday.
I did like that. That's cool with the banner.
Banners, because you could spread it over as many pages as you wanted to. It was a pretty cool thing. They were already put together. You didn't have to tape them all together. Let's see here. Oh, let's see. Where are we at? Oh, boy, people are talking a lot, and we're just chatting along here. Chatting along. I'm really far behind now. I got to start pushing forward here. Amanda says, then you forget your floppy disk in the computer lab, and there goes your 50-page essay. All right. Oh, I was so glad when they came out with the USB drives, right? That was so nice. USB was like a great thing.
I don't think I was in school for that.
I carried a USB drive in college.
I didn't carry that until probably I met you.
Bonnie says, those early movies with computers are fun to watch. You've Got Mail and War Games, right? Lena says, that is to force us to rent access to our own data. They say it's anti-piracy, but it's so we have to buy things over again. Yeah, you buy something on Amazon, a book, you got to go buy it on Apple again, right? If you move over. They don't always cross, and they can remove them from your device if they lose access, which, you know, laws. I guess everyone has to follow them. But
remember when YouTube gave everybody an album and they freaked out?
That was Apple.
Yeah, they
gave everyone
added...
the U2 album. They just added it to everybody's device, and people freaked out. I don't want this.
You
And
can delete it all.
I kind of get it, but at the same point, I'd be just like, I actually didn't mind it, but you could hit delete. It's a free thing. But it was a thing of invasion of privacy because they just put it on your device.
And people lost their minds.
They did not ever do that again.
Oh my God. People still, we're talking about it now, and that was probably 10 years ago.
Steve Jobs was still alive. Yeah. He's the one that made the deal. But yeah, it's crazy, right? All that stuff that happens. Hello, Cindy. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, the cloud stuff you are. I mean, Lennis is kind of right. You're renting your own data, kind of, because every month I mean, it's no different, really, kind of, than buying a storage locker, right? You're putting your stuff in a storage locker and you have to pay for it if you want to get to it again. But for the convenience, I'm willing to do that because I have multiple devices and they all can go to the same document if I put it up there. If I leave it on my computer, my life would be so much harder.
We have a mix of both.
You may most of my stuff is all in the cloud unless it can't fit.
Yeah, I keep backups and
yeah, we have backups.
Print things off.
I always keep backups of everything. Try to.
Yeah, you still keep your boxes from your stuff. What you talking about?
I do. I keep all my product boxes.
One day this is gonna be the Museum of Technology.
I know, up in there, right over there in my closet.
It's looking at me.
I did throw a bunch out of stuff that I don't have anymore, though.
What?
Yeah, I threw out like 6 or 7 phone boxes and iPad boxes. Yeah.
Those are the ones that's going to be worth money.
I didn't throw out the original iPhone box. I still got that.
You're going to put that on the eBay.
Right. Bonnie says, I love Fiona Apple, had it on CD, but gave them all away. I wonder if she has anything on vinyl. I would assume she does.
Some of the new stuff, though, you got to be into it. It's
the
like
one
dogs barking and stuff.
The one vinyl I wish I had was Dave Matthews Band. What is the name of the album?
The Crowded Streets.
These Crowded Streets.
Before These Crowded
Streets. That only came out, I think they only sold it at their concerts.
Which they had 1 million of them.
There's not a lot of them. They were a limited press. They are worth about $500 to $700 a record right now. So if you have a very good Dave Matthews Band Before These Crowded Streets vinyl record, if it's in good condition, if it's not open, it's worth a lot of money. But they've never re-released it, and that's why. It's never been.
Why. Vinyl's like a big thing now.
They have all their other albums. Most of their other albums, I think, on vinyl.
That their most popular album would be on.
But I think they're doing it because it makes it worth. I've looked at eBay. I've seen them up to like $1,500 for.
Did you go to that record store?
They would know what they had, though. That's the
thing. They got stuff in like a kitchen cabinet.
You never know. I have not looked at every record store. Sue says you can still get CD players. They're fairly cheap. We bought stereo systems for the up and down stairs in 2021. That's good. Marion says wall phone and only had to use 5 numbers to call someone local. See, I didn't have that.
Their name.
We didn't have to dial.
Our party line.
We had to dial 4, 5, 6. We had to dial 7 numbers. The 3 and the 4, but we didn't have to dial the first 3 until they came through and redid all the area codes in our. I don't know if they call them that in Canada. Here, area codes, the first 3, then there's the next 3, and the last 4. But we didn't have to dial the area code until they came through our area and partitioned us again. So most of our family got moved into another area code, which was long distance. Remember when you had to pay for long distance?
And we were just talking about this, the MCI.
MCI.
We were talking about old commercials.
Right. Nancy says, how about a TWX machine? Anybody? I have no idea what a TWX. I didn't know it by that name, at least.
TWX, is that one of them Texas Instruments?
I don't know.
One of those calculators that looked like a Game Boy.
I don't know.
You remember that Texas Instrument? This is probably not it, but do you?
I remember Texas calculators, like scientific calculators.
Those things that were like.
Yeah, you carried that to your algebra or your trigonometry class.
I took that in calculus. I said, what the heck is this good for?
Yeah, I had to use it in a lot of my math classes.
And then they would like make dirty pictures with it.
Of course.
Or spell bad words.
Look at the snow out here, everybody. It's snowing. Genesis, we had a wall phone also, and we'd get in trouble when we stretched it out to the living room so we would have some privacy, right? Let's see. Yeah, but the computers don't have a disk drive. They don't want us able to rip or copy them, says Linus. You can use a USB drive. That pretty hard to get rid of because USB-C is here to stay.
Just film it with your phone, Linus.
USB-C is here to stay.
Set up
right?
your tripod.
My parents still had their big black bell dial telephones from the 50s until they moved into a retirement community in 2005. Yeah, around this area, I think my grandmother had an old phone. It still had the pulse dial. I don't know if y'all had the pulse and tone dial. You had to flip your phone depending on what service you had.
Is that the one with the rotary?
The rotary. There's the rotary. The rotaries were only pulse.
We had to get rid of our rotary.
Every number had a sound kind of behind it, and then they came through with the tone. It was just like dee, 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 dee. It was like, wow, you can dial fast now. But we had rotary and pulse dialing.
Do you remember that?
When you programmed them into your phone. Yeah, that was funny.
Welcome to the 90s.
Anne says, I feel high tech today. I finally got earphones with an appropriate plug for my phone so I can listen while I'm on the bus home. Nice.
That's nice.
It always is good, right?
Do you have your like the plug-in one, or
she
do you
must have
buds?
the plug-in. The plug-in. It said appropriate plug for my phone.
Well, let me tell you about buds. You don't get tangled up.
Isn't it nice?
Oh my goodness.
Those wireless. I do like them.
Sometimes when I do metal work, it's dangerous.
Yeah. I had a habit of always launching my phone off my desk because I would have them tethered to my desk and I'd turn my head or I'd pull paper or and there goes the phone. So I like the wireless ones. I know they're not as practical sometimes because they do run out of battery a lot when you least want them to, but they are nice, I have to say. They are nice when they connect, right?
Boy, that saved my life in art school, having earphones. Because there's some kids that were around me and they were rowdy.
Rowdy.
And I could never get any work done until I got that. And then when I put those in, I could block them out. I'm probably a little bit deaf from playing the music so loud.
I was a big holdout on getting an iPod for a long time because they were expensive when they first came out. And I just carried around. When I first moved to New York City, I had a Discman and I carried my CDs around. If I was on the bus or I was on the ferry or the train, I usually had like 1 or 2 CDs I'd carry in a bag and I could flip them out. And boy, I will tell you, getting that iPod was so nice because you didn't have to carry all that around. You didn't have to fumble in the dark of the bus trying to change your CD out or just sit there and listen to the same stuff over and over again. You didn't have the CD that skipped. It had skip protection, but it didn't work if you were like rumbling anywhere. So yeah, there are some things to be said about that, right? Genesis, I remember going into the computer lab at our junior college in the area and was amazed at the enormous computers. She also said,
and now the computer is
your phone. Your phone could power, if you could hook your phone up, and some phones do, hook them up to a monitor, you could have a computer.
I use my phone.
I know if Andrew does. He does the long typing on the phone. I need a keyboard to do anything long. That's why I tell you all, I check my email like once or twice a day when I'm sitting at a computer because I check it more often all day long on my phone, but you're not going to get a reply to me until I actually sit down somewhere and do that. Genesis, I still have my iPod somewhere. Bonnie says, my son has saved all his old iPods and phones. I usually sold off my phones or traded them in or handed them down a lot. That's why I had a lot of, to Andrew or family members.
We still do that.
We still do that.
Because it doesn't matter to me if I have the newest, unless it's for the camera.
Now he's getting into it. Now
because the camera, let me tell you,
he got a big jump from his last phone too.
Because the one I used to carry around this camera, and you carry around the camera bag and all this stuff, and it's like at least 10 pounds plus my other man purse, and it'd be heavy.
Yeah.
And now it's just fit in your pocket.
Fit in your pocket. So much just fits on that phone, right? It's all the all device, the every device.
Isn't that weird? Because if you talk to some people, I was like, why don't you just take a picture with your phone? And then imagine if somebody said that when there's like dial-up.
I know, right?
They'd be like, what? Take a picture with your phone?
Can you imagine going back in time right now and like trying to have to fit into the world without that?
And that's not like a long time.
It's my lifetime.
That's like we read this book for book club, and this girl, she got knocked in the head or something, and she couldn't remember the last 10 years. And her kids were like, what are you doing? When she was trying to use the old technology, and they're like, just use your phone.
Yeah. But can you imagine like time traveling back and not being able to like just whip out your phone to take a picture, or you need to look something up. Oh, you had to go to the library and go to the encyclopedia there.
There's something they didn't even have though. Like we were just talking about this last night about we were listening to a song about song lyrics, and for the longest time, that song, Hey Mama Rock Me? I thought they were saying Hey Hammurabi. I was like, wow, they really into this eye for eye business.
Yeah, you didn't know song lyrics back in the day. Unless they came in the fold out sheet that came with your cassette or CD, you were screwed. Font. Yeah, you were. Yeah, it was like, and usually it was the wrong color lettering on the wrong background. You had to try to decipher what it was, right? Amanda says, I had a mini disc player. I made my own mixed mini discs. So fun. It was fun. Sandra says, library catalog film. It was blue. I can't remember what it was called. Microfiche? Is that the microfiche film?
They still have that.
Yeah, our library. I know my high school had it. I don't know when they got rid of it. They had it even when I graduated. And some, like, I think newspapers especially still have some microfiche.
There were some of the stuff, like for contemporary craft, they're working on digitizing their archives because it's all on that.
Yeah, and that stuff can go up like if it gets burned. Be glad, Williams, says Marianne. Make one little mistake on your entire program, and your entire program wouldn't run. It would be hard to tell which card had the error. Couple before or after the mistake what really was. Yeah, those cards, I bet. But remember when
that happens now though with like code.
With coding, yeah, coding can be hard.
You have one backslash not and forward slash instead of the backslash.
And it doesn't work.
404 error.
404 not found. But yeah, and copy and paste and undo were like the biggest things in the world, coming from like trying to go from typewriters and then getting onto the computer and actually being able to undo something and not have to start all over.
Or use whiteout.
Whiteout.
We had correction tape. Mm-hmm. That was like the thing.
Yep. I think you did some of them. You had to pull out the cartridge, put in the correction tape cartridge, like the typewriters, go over it with the correction tape, and then put in the cartridge and go over it again.
The IBM one,
the Selecta or whatever they were called.
Yeah, it had the correction tape built in.
That's nice.
My dad used to be like addicted to those, and so we had like 20 typewriters. And he's like, "This is going to be worth so much money."
I'd like to have one now, just for the. My grandmother used to have one. I wonder if my brother still has it up there. You turn it on, it would hum. Mm-hmm. And it had the little speed ball. It had the speed ball on it.
Mm-hmm. Miss Rainey's class.
I learned to type on computers. My school had computers.
We had a book, and the book was on this prop, and your face, she'd look at your face.
If you weren't looking at that book.
Uh-huh.
And no looking at the keyboard. Lena says, I still have friends from an Atari user group. That's fun, right?
Greg loves Atari.
Genesis used to have party lines where you go into a room to talk with strangers, which freaks me out now. Yeah, my mom grew up on a party line at their house. You had to pick up the phone and you had to listen to see if anyone else was talking before you could call anyone else, or you could listen into anybody's conversation in the neighborhood.
Let's have codes.
Right? Let's see here. Lisa says, love this convo down tech memory lane, right? It's fun. I feel bad like we're so far behind. But I'm gonna have to get caught up here a little bit, I think. Let's see here. Cindy said, shared on Facebook, going over to YouTube. Thank you.
People be like, what's this gemstone business? They don't
I know, they're like, they don't know talking about any gemstones. What the heck is this?
They talk about typewriters.
Lena says, exactly. I still own my books and DVDs. I own it. It's in my house, right? Yeah.
I like it.
I think
if something happens to your house, then you always have it.
Yeah, like I started digitizing family photos and things like that, videos, just in case. I need to finish it. Cindy's over on YouTube now. Amanda says, I'm older than you guys. We still remember a lot of the same things, right? Susan says, that's why I keep physical copies of anything I really love. Yeah, I'm buying a lot of vinyl of things I can find that I love. That's why I was looking up the Dave Matthew Band vinyl, because I love that CD, but I ain't spending that kind of money for one record.
If you do, I'll get some.
Andrew would be like, I could have taken a class.
Correct.
He's like, I could learn
you can
something.
Listen to the
so you
CD
can listen to
all day long.
You listen to it free all day, because I don't even need, I literally have the CD somewhere too.
Go tell the internet, play it to you.
Harry says, we started with a Commodore 64, moved up to an Amiga 1000 when my wife was writing her master's thesis, did finally get Windows machines when the internet got going. Yeah, I had a Commodore 64 that we bought secondhand from some kid who was selling it. I had very little idea how to even use it. Like, it came with some programs and I could figure them out. Some I wasn't great at, but that was my very first computer, was a Commodore 64. And then after that, I got a DOS computer and it had, I think, the option to run Windows 3 point something or 2 point something. I think it was Windows 3.1, which is the big thing back then. But my mom and aunt, when they bought it for me, and my grandmother was there, but they decided to keep Windows off of it because it would run way too slow. So it was just DOS. That was my first computers. Sandra says, somebody had the original iPhone when it first came out and it sold for like 40 or 60,000 unopened. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I'm like, I have one, but mine's a little banged up. But I always used it without a case, and it held up actually really well.
That business is like a tank.
It is like a tank, and I kind of wish they made them that size again, and that because it's a nice, pocketable.
That's too heavy. Nah. Let's
too
not
heavy.
Go backwards.
Too heavy. I don't think it's that heavy.
Your hand would get tired. I remember that. No.
Yeah, but you could actually reach everything with your thumb.
I had a flip phone for the longest time, and when I got that, there's no looking back.
I like the flip phones. I had a StarTAC, and those were the smallest flip phones of the time. My aunt had gotten one, and she loved it. So a few years later, she got us one, and I loved it. And then I got one of those candy bar phones. It was like, didn't really like that, but it was cheap, and that's what I needed when I was in New York. I think it was my first phone in New York. It was one of those Nokia candy bar phones. That was a tank. Talk about a tank, though.
Didn't you have one of them palm things with a little pearl?
That was the not Palm. That was BlackBerry. BlackBerry, and mine was not the pearl. It was the one before it, but it had some kind of thing in the middle.
A scrolly button.
And it died, and it started texting people on its own, and that's when I had to get rid of it. Because I was like, looking like crazy stalker because it was sending lots of messages from my pocket. Not a good time.
What did it send?
It would just start sending words, but it had predictive words. So sometimes it made kind of sense, or it would just send hello, hello, hello.
That's how you get the police call.
I know. It sent like 20 messages to someone. I'm like, I'm sorry, my phone did that. And they're like, yeah, right, it did. Crazy stalker. Block. So yeah, that was actually, I think I had that right before the iPhone came out.
You sure you weren't drunk?
No, I was not drunk. I was working at Bloomingdale's.
Texting.
I was during the day, not drunk texting. Cindy says, I still wish I had the Beatles' White Album. I'd be rich. An original? Yes. Teresa says, Dave Matthews is $1,000 unopened right now on eBay. I told you.
You don't need it.
I told you.
You got the internet.
The thing is I'd open it. I don't believe in like not opening things like that.
I do.
Andrew says, I do. I'm going to skip a little bit here. Sorry, everybody. Harry says, I use an Alexa device for music. Just tell her what I want to listen to, and she plays it.
Yeah,
it is nice, great. Right? It is nice. We have Siri, Alexa, and Google because we have to use them to check on our business and all that. See how we're coming up when people ask. But the only, I have one of the more expensive Siri ones, but the other ones are all the cheapies. Bonnie says, it's really snowing now. Out our window, now it's done again.
That's how far behind you are.
I know, it's how far behind.
15 minutes.
Harry says, I'm a Luddite when it comes to photos. I use cameras 90% of the time. The phone only gets a few cat videos and selfies. You got good pictures of like the moon and stuff,
you have
though.
Real pictures.
Mm-hmm. It's snowing a lot there. Yeah, so I'm catching up. I'm sorry, I'm going to skip ahead. I'm sorry if I missed anything, but I'm going to get to kind of current.
Let's just do gemstones.
Oh, Susan says our first computer was a blue Apple, the Bondi iMac. That was called Bondi Blue, B-O-N-D-I. Bondi iMac, probably. That was the beginning of the new Apple, right? That's when Steve Jobs came back. He got rid of the floppy disk. That was the big thing. It had a CD drive, but no floppy drive in it. I think you could buy the floppy disk separate if you wanted to. But people threw a fit when he got rid of the floppy drive. They're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do?
We're going to look at these old floppy disks.
How are we going to save stuff anymore? But that's when USB came into being on the Bondi Blue iMac. They had the whole rainbow, right?
I remember that. I can smell them. I think about it.
When they get hot,
it made a very specific smell of burnt plastic and ozone.
Oh, good old days, right? Susan says, my wonky old eyes can barely read the larger iPhone, right? I know. Can't go back to small again, right?
No.
Vanessa says, I remember my boyfriend got me a cell phone for my birthday when they started coming out. I laughed. First thing I said was, I will never use this. What do I need a mobile phone for? I know, right?
I know.
I got my first cell phone when I was 14, I think 13 or 14. I was the very first kid that I knew. No one else said they had one in my school. My mom got it for me. It had 40 minutes of talk time a month. You could talk for 40 minutes on the plan. I think the plan was $60 or $70 a month. And the only reason my mom got it is because I would go out with friends and some of them were driving. And she wanted to make sure that we all had a way to call if something happens. And but yeah, 40 minutes of talk time. That was nights and weekends, though. They were like free. But you had to wait until after 9 or 10 o'clock for that to kick in. And then if you went over, I think it was like $1 or $2 a minute. Every minute you went over that 40 minutes a month. Crazy how things have changed. No texting. Texting wasn't a thing. Remember when we would butt dial people? Surprisingly, that still happens to me. I don't know how, but sometimes at the store or on my personal phone. Yeah, it
My
still
sister
happens.
does that, and I'll hear a voice coming from her general area. And be like, check your phone.
Check your phone. Linda says, you say Nokia funny. We say Nokia. I say Nokia. I think that Nokia. That's how I was taught to pronounce it. Nokia. My husband used to sell mobile devices that in order to use would have to be mounted on a board in your car. I thought it was really cool when you put one in my car. The bag phones, the big bag phones in your car.
Those are huge.
They were huge. They had cords, some of them. They still had the cord to the base thing. And
you have the thing that pulled out, right?
Some of them had some had the big antenna, the big phones. They were like this, and they had the big stumpy antenna on them.
I remember there was one that pulled out, and it kept knocking on the. We didn't have this.
Yeah.
We did not have it because that was like the luxury.
That was before, those came out before the portable, like your regular cell phones. Like I got a regular cell phone.
Not hands-free.
But you would watch those in TV shows. Like, what was it? That one doctor who drove the Porsche and listened to classical music. What show was that on? No, it was before that. I can't remember what show it was, but he had one of those bag phones. And
Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman?
No, I think it was around that time. But anyway, he was a doctor. It was a doctor show, some doctor show.
What he looked like?
I don't remember. I just remember he drove a Porsche and listened to classical music because at that point in my life, I wanted that car to listen to that music with. That was my perfect thing. We got our first cell phones in fairly late 2006. My hubs discovered payphones were a thing of the past when he blew a tire. Right? Diane says, my mom butt dialed me the other day. See, it still happens. Menace says, I'm on the receiving end of lots of butt dials with a name starting with A. I'm often the first in people's contacts, right? Saint Elsewhere. Was it? It might have been Saint Elsewhere. That sounds right. But yeah. So anyway, I've just jumped to the end of the comments. So if I missed your comment,
talk about pagers.
I never had a pager. Some kids in my school had a pager and they thought they were cool until I came in with a cell phone.
There you go. Go one up.
I did one up them. I know they had to keep up with me, but up until that point, our school had no policy on phones in the classroom. And they had to create a policy because I would carry my phone even though I never used it, I carried it on me all the time. So I didn't leave it in my locker to get stolen. And they had to create a policy that there were no phones in classrooms. You could only have them in your locker during in between periods. But pagers were allowed. They didn't make much of a deal, I guess. But
the only people I knew who had pagers were like drug dealers.
Could have been who had my school had the pager. I don't, but I think some kids had them for sports, and when they went to sports and when they went to competitions, their parents could page them if they needed to.
My parents were like, "Good luck."
I know, right?
I took the bus 20 miles away.
Pagers in my town were a very short-lived thing. I know they lasted a long time for some professions, but in my town, some kids had them, and I'm sure some parents had them for a short period of time. But as soon as cell phones came out, people started adopting them pretty quickly.
What is it? Either you're a doctor or a drug dealer,
right?
Sometimes both.
Sometimes both. Marianne says medical labs still use pagers. Yeah, some people still do. I think some of our friends who their spouses are doctors still use pagers. I don't know why.
They don't have a real phone?
I don't know why. I know, right? Why? But Linda says, I had a pager when I was working as a sales rep. It was the pain in the bum. I had to find a payphone somewhere and park so I could call the office. Yeah, right? Linda says, when I was a flight attendant, I had a pager and had to just go to the airport when they paged me. Yeah, a lot of people had, like queues, right? Like you go somewhere, if they page, you don't call back or whatever. So yeah, but wasn't that something, right? I never had a pager. I skipped the pagers, went right to a cell phone. People in my school, they thought they were cool with the pager for like a week.
Until they realized that that's not actually that great.
I know, right? All right. I guess we're going to look at some gemstones today, maybe an hour and a half into this video. Sorry,
we got
y'all.
some more antiquated technology that we can talk about.
I know, right? Oh, but it all does come back, doesn't it? It all comes back. Maybe not all of it. I don't think we're going to get pagers back anytime soon.
Some people still use them.
Some people still use, but every day.
Oh my gosh, people thought that records were done.
Yeah,
you could buy those for 10 cents.
People definitely thought records were done until all the kids decided that vinyl's cool again, right?
Did you tell them how they can claim this business?
And just like, did you tell them? No, but I'm going to put up the banner right now. Andrew's making us lot numbers, y'all. So
it's been made.
You don't need to take down screenshots. You don't need to do that. If you want to purchase from this video, take down the lot number and send it to us in an email. Easy peasy, just like we've been doing these for the last few days. I got to get out my other light and my very, very professional, my light screen here.
That's called your filter.
My light filter, which is a white piece of paper.
What do they call it? Is that how they call it, a filter?
Man, probably something like that. Susan says, vinyl saved a friend's record store. Coming back. I bet it did.
Yeah, we apparently have the largest record store in the world.
The oldest. We have the oldest. In Johnstown, Pennsylvania. The oldest record store in, at least in the country, but I think it's in the world, right?
And then did you tell them if they get it before certain...
I did not. Go right ahead. You already started. You started telling them. Okay, everybody. So we're going to show you these strands. We're going to give you a price on these strands. And so like this, you're going to see this. This is Gem 29. So Gem 29 is what you would send us in the email. That's the lot number. This is the price. This is the retail.
And it's priced per strand.
It's priced per strand. We're going to show you this. Usually, sometimes we show you a bunch at once, like this we're going to do.
If I bought by the hang.
So it's going to be priced by the strand. And you are going to save an extra, so this doesn't include that, an extra 10% off if you order before tomorrow's live. All right? Which is Andrew's tutorial day.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Do you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see for tutorial day? So what else was I going to say? Anything else? Anything else?
Email info allegory gallery.
Yeah, it's scrolling. It's at the top of your screen, at the bottom of your screen. And let's get this show on the road, y'all. I'm getting a little chilly. It's starting to get cold. Lot Gem 29, $18. You have this beautiful ametrine. So amethyst and citrine growing together is ametrine. And this is small ametrine. This is probably 3 millimeter. It is 3 millimeter. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. 3 millimeter ametrine. Sandra says, had to get popcorn for this. Compared to the talk time, the gemstone time is going to fly by.
Because we didn't pick that many.
No, I think we picked 10 strands. Some of the strands have multiple levels inside of them, which you'll kind of understand when you see them. They have different shapes, but they're the same general thing in the general price. So anyway, so this is ametrine. It's $18 a strand. You will save $1.80 off of that if you order before tomorrow's live. And by order, that's taking down the lot number, sending it to us in an email. If your email gets to us before tomorrow's live, you save the 10% automatically. We'll take that off of your invoice.
That adds up.
Yeah, so that makes us just above, what, $16. Just a little over 16. What, $16.20? So there you go. Ametrine. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice, y'all? That's a good price, too. That is a very good price, actually, for actual stone, faceted rounds, 3 millimeter, $18. That price didn't go up much at all
Those are old
over the
stock.
pandemic.
That's because it's old stock.
Old stock.
I said, what you got under that table?
What you got under the table. And you got it for the old prices, apparently.
Correct. I'm trying to, we were on a budget, so.
Yeah, we were. We are always on a budget. Which way are these going? This way, right? Okay. Lot Gem 30. And if you're just tuning in, these started at 29 today because we did 1 through 28 last week. So you didn't miss anything, really, if you're just now tuning in. Okay. Here are more beautiful, beautiful 3mm faceted rounds. These are garnets. These are garnets. So your price is by the strand. This, for example, is 1 strand. This is lot Gem 30. $18 is the retail price. If you order before tomorrow, before tomorrow's live starts, you save 10% off of everything today. And what happens is you send me the emails sometime tonight. I will go over those emails. I will compile those emails into a spreadsheet listing out what everyone got. And if you did get something, you will get an invoice in your email back. If you did not get anything, you will not get an invoice. All right. Bonnie says, I want to see cat paws. Cat paws are not up here today. You saw cat tails and cat faces if you tuned in earlier. But we're trying to keep Barnaby off of this, so we don't have cat hair all over everything. Even though he is a very good helper. He's a very good helper. Sandra says, I love ametrine. I love ametrine too. Whoops. Oh no. Sorry. And knock those off my desk. Let me crawl over here. Okay. Sorry, everyone. I have something stuck in my throat. Okay. Now, these ones, there are actually 3 different sizes of these. Andrew didn't make me 3 different lot numbers for them, so I'm going to show you these. These are blue calcite in a matte finish in faceted squares. Aren't those cool? I have never seen this before. I've never seen this like this blue calcite. So there are 2 of the larger ones, which these are approximately 9 to 10 millimeter squares, just about 10 millimeter. Then the next size down is 8 millimeter. And then I'm guessing this is probably 6. Yes. So 6, 8, and 10 millimeter squares. When you send this, if you want lot Gem 31, if you want one of these, please let me know if you want the 6, 8, or 10 millimeter size. They're all the same price. They're all $25. You will get the 10% off them all, but I will need to know whether you want the 10 millimeter, the 8 millimeter, or the 6 millimeter size. Okay? So make sure you do that when you send Gem lot 31, if you want 10 millimeter, 8 millimeter, or 6 millimeter size. Normally you don't have to do much, but on these ones, we need to know.
I forgot.
That's okay.
Make separate tags.
It's okay. Just do Gem 31 and let me know what size. And if you don't care, also let me know you don't care, because that helps too. If there's anything left over, if you don't really care, if somebody bought 2 of these and 1 of these, and there's 1 of each of those, we'll just send you whichever one you want. But if you do not care, please also say that. Say, I don't mind, any size is good, or something like that. All right. Let's see here. All right. Aren't those cool though? Like, I have never seen this before. I have never seen this matte blue calcite cut like this. It's just such a pretty thing. And on my screen, again, the screen is showing these a bit more yellow than they are in person. They are very blue in person. They are very blue in person.
Like a blue-gray.
Yeah, it's like a blue-gray color, but they look a little bit yellow on the screen. I don't think I have anything that's going to change that to what color it should look like. Let's see. Let's see what this. If I put this on here, that's a little better. That's a little bit better on my screen. It's still a little bit yellow, but I think that's because of the kind of lights we have right now. But at least that's a little bit less. Yeah, that's Andrew's lighting is a little bit better too. So Sandra says it looks gray on their end. Good. Yeah, it's a blue-gray. It's like a storm cloud blue-gray.
A light storm.
A light storm. A light storm, not a dark storm. It's like the summer sky just broke out into a storm real quick. How about that? Getting poetic now. All right. So that was lot Gem 31. Lot Gem 31. Now, lot Gem 32. Hi, Barn. Your paws have been requested on the camera.
He says I heard it.
He says I heard it. I'm here, but they won't let me. They won't let me do it. These are gorgeous, everybody. Now, these are already strung up on sterling clasps and chains. If you want to use them that way, you could use them that way. You could resell them that way. You could wear them that way. But if it were me, I would restring them at least, or take them apart to use as you wish. This is lot Gem 32, $75 a strand. These are graduated, faceted rondelles of prasiolite. Prasiolite. That's green quartz.
It's a real pale green.
Green amethyst, right? Which is quartz. Barnaby, what are you doing? I have a tear in my jean. He thinks it's a bug. Barnaby, that's my jean. You don't need to attack that. Suzanne says, pick out a necklace for Cinnamon, Barnaby. Better watch. Barnaby has expensive tastes. Do you, Barn? Do ya? He says, that's okay if you're paying, right? Barnaby, you gonna buy Cinnamon a necklace?
That'd be cute.
Right?
Pen pal.
Marianne says, what you don't want. Huh?
That's them getting serious.
Right.
Going steady.
Marianne says, what you don't want is a greenish cloud. Potential tornado. Yikes. Suzanne says, so does Cinnamon, right? Expensive taste. Sandra says, I thought it was lemon quartz. Sandra, if you want lemon quartz, just wait.
You got the King Daddy coming.
You got the King Daddy, King Mommy, whatever you want to say. It's coming. This is prasiolite, though. This is prasiolite. Isn't that fun? Isn't that gorgeous?
And it's a natural stone.
Yeah, this is natural. This isn't, this is as it is.
Because sometimes you'll buy prasiolite and it's dyed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clearly dyed.
This is not. And again, the color is not quite coming across. Yeah, the color is subtle and it's not coming across great on screen.
If it was more green, that would be like quadruple the price.
But look at the clarity. Like, that's some clear stones. And that's why this one $75. Clarity.
It's one of those things where it's like you can get clarity, you can get color, you can get natural, you can get like there's so many different things, and you can get like budget friendly, and you can't have all of them.
Right. Well, you can. No, you can't have budget friendly.
If you can't have everything on budget friendly, unless you like,
No,
like a gift or something.
If you got deep pockets, you can have all the other things. And maybe even budget friendly, because you, for some reason, if you've got a lot of money, people seem to give you stuff. People seem to just hand stuff over to rich people.
Well, sometimes people, I don't know, because I will be shopping with people. Sometimes I'll go shopping, and the price is even, I get a good price. Some people get a better price than I do. I'm like, dude, what?
No, I think Andrew sorted these a little bit with the tags. Now just wait till you see these, y'all. And
get ready, gird
yourself. Get ready.
Brace yourself.
Brace yourself. There are two. We're going to just call this one Gem 33. There are two of these in this shape. And
also, Barnaby might be sassing or trying to get up in your business a little bit more because we have this pet adoption website up.
Andrew's been looking at kittens.
These kittens, they don't really have little kittens. They only sell like.
So.
It is sold. You pay adoption fee.
Look at this labradorite.
When I was a kid, they used to have boxes and stuff, free kittens.
And I wish this would... Give me your phone, Andrew. We need better light on this, because this has flash. This has major flash, y'all.
And you told them to ignore the tags.
Yeah, these tags are carats. There were even CTSs written on there. This is just carat weight, not prices.
And so how we figured out the prices is we averaged everything out, because otherwise you get some wonkadoodle prices.
Yeah, and then you have to go buy. We have to make lots for every single individual strand. So this.
If you thought we took too long talking about technology. If we did by carat weight, we're going to be here all night, all day.
Now I have two of these strands in this shape. So two of these strands in this shape. This is lot 68.
That seems like my phone's going to fall down.
And lot 68. Lot Gem 33, $68 a strand.
Get distracted.
All right. So.
Oh, Mom, doesn't that flash look good?
Yes, it does. The only problem is now I put I can't see
the comments.
The comments. Cinnamon and Charlie were pricey to adopt, but we got a lot of coupons, says Suzanne. Marianne says, my cats were free. Let me see if I pull this away. There's the flash. We got to hit that with the good light. The full on, look at that. There you go. Full on flash.
You're gonna hypnotize me.
Hypnotize. All right. So there are those. That's that shape. Lot Gem 33, $68. All right. Now, next one is lot Gem 34, and these are drops. Put these in this bag so they're separate when I go through them like this. So we have drops there. I have another strand of drops here. The elongated ones, yeah. And they're all graduated. There's another that's like in the middle. And each one of these, y'all, has like a different color flash too, which is crazy. So you have the yellow flash, yellow and kind of orangey pink down here. You have blue flashes in here, and you have the green flashes up here. These are each also $68 a strand. You will save 10% if you order them. Boy, look at these flashing before tomorrow's live. These are flashing like crazy, these yellow ones. Like, look at that. Every single one of those. Lettuce's bottom are so lush, my favorite. Yeah, these ones. Oh, so nice. And then these ones, they have more of a blue flash to them. And these ones are a little bit more of the gray color in the stone itself. They're that light gray. And then you have these. Look at these ones. That pretty blue flash. And then these ones have that kind of more of the green flash to them with some of the yellow in there. And I will tell you, we have had things like this in the past, and every single time I never have them left to put on the store floor or in the online store. Because they look good and people buy them. So if you want these, I highly recommend grabbing them soon. This might be the year, you never know. Maybe I'll have some left to put in the online store later, but you're saving 10% now, and we have this. That's it. 4 strands of these. If you want a specific strand, you can take a screenshot and let me know if that matters to you. They are different colors, they are different sizes, so that might matter. So feel free to let me know. Otherwise, just let me know that you want one of these, and that's fine. Anne says, oh my gosh, these labradorite drops have some great flash. Did I say that? I read it in my head. I don't think I said it out loud. Thank you. They do. Bonnie says, the drops are gorge. Marianne says, blinded by the flash. I know.
That's the kind I like.
Right? Right?
I saw the sign. It blinded me.
Boy, mixing up song lyrics, stone analogies. Whew, okay, that's bright, y'all. That's
how you get blinded.
That is how you get blinded.
Where's my phone?
Up here.
Did you throw it away?
I just tossed it aside. I gave it to Barnaby so he could call Cinnamon.
And they can be FaceTime.
You're gonna FaceTime friends. This is lot gem 35. Lena says, no ace of base. I liked ace of base. Lot gem 35. These are not a cheap date, y'all. $125 a strand. But whoo!
It's a good year for labradorite. It is expensive, but or not expensive, but it is not inexpensive.
I'm gonna blind myself again. I want you to see these hand-carved labradorite leaves. There is not a single leaf on these that does not flash.
That blue intense flash.
Yeah, this is like intense. Like, I think I'm overdoing the light shining on it. There, look.
So sometimes when you're cutting stones, it depends on how the stone is. It's not just the material that you're using. Because you can have the most amazing material, but if you orient it the wrong direction, you'll lose that chatoyance. So each one of these, when they carved it, it's all hand carved, and they orient it so you get the most flash out of the stone.
Yeah, these are amazing. And I'm going to tell you right now, they look so much better in person than they are coming across even in the video. These are little nuggets of goodness. If I can move this camera down, there we go. Look at it there. Look at every one of those flashing. Stunning. So those are lovely. Those are lovely.
Pair of earrings.
I know, right?
Yeah, but maybe make a couple pairs. But they're worth it.
They are. These are definitely worth it. And
you notice how we only got 2 strands of that?
I did notice.
That's not the whole hank.
No whole hanks here. But of course, Andrew picked the best of the hank. Aren't they lovely? Okay, so those are $125 a strand. I know they're expensive, and I'm sorry, on camera they do not look as good as they do in person. But you still get some idea of what they look like, especially when they're sitting like this. Like you can really kind of see it. But they're such a dark blue. Oh, they're so nice. Okay, anyway.
And they're hand carved.
Right? Each one hand carved and made sure that that carving was done in a way that you see that flash. Suzanne says, those make me feel good just looking at the flash, right? They do. They do. Okay. Gilbert. He's a good man. He's a good man.
He's not very showy.
He's not very showy.
Flirting on the internet.
Flirting on the internet. He's not flirting.
No,
Where's the...
Did it come out?
They don't know where it is.
Should be.
It should be 36. 36. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. They're just under the other back. Punch it. Gem 36. Carla says, I'm back and watching on the TV, but I have to look away. Somebody buy them quick. Or save them for the 25th, right, Carla? Somebody don't buy them all. She's like, set some aside for me. Lay away. Linda says, I wish I had someone from Australia with whom I could share the buying and postage with. I get it. We used to have a few people from Australia, but you're the only one that we've seen recently.
Well, the postage went up.
Yeah, so. It did. Yeah, it did. All right. Marian says, sorry, Carla, out of my league. Those, I get it. Those leaves are, right? Oh no, Michelle says, my household is very sick. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Glad you could join in a little bit today. This is I keep missing your lives. Lot Gem 36. These are $45 each. These are mini chrome diopside. Who doesn't love that green?
It's such an intense saturated green, and it's not dyed either.
No, chrome diopside gives you that beautiful little stone, but in that brilliant green. And just to, I'm going to try information on the size. I can't even get the caliper in between them. They're about 4 millimeters long. And let's see if I can grab this. About 3 millimeters wide. Beautiful chrome diopside. Let me see if I pull this away. You'll probably see that green color better. Look at that green show through. Linda said, shut up. Cynthia has some and they sold out. We've got them right here.
I think she gets better prices than I do because I was looking at it. Either that or she's charging how much she is getting charged.
Yeah, I have a feeling some of her prices didn't make her much money.
Because I saw one that her sapphire strand. I said,
I don't know how you're making any money on that.
Sometimes I think they charge what she got charged.
Yeah, sometimes it's a cash flow thing.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you make a mistake pricing. That happens too. We've done it.
I think Azalea was pricing them.
Azalea's giving the good prices. But we got to make some money, y'all. So ours are $45 a strand. I don't know what theirs were. But this is what a good price should be. Anything below that would be like, just take it now. This is carat weight too, by the way. These aren't prices. That's carat weight. Lennis is guying over this. Love it so much. Vanessa says, I love green. Me too. Me too. Sandra said, already got some of those. Sandra says, I think they were 45. So that makes sense.
Okay.
So there they are. They were gone over there. We've got them. How about that? I've got 6 strands of them. 5 strands. 5 strands of them, if I can count. 5 strands available. Once they're gone, no more. No more. All right. So that was lot Gem 36 for $45 per strand. And those are little shorty strands. At this price, of course, those are shorty strands. Oh, you may think that sodalite is, you know, just a plain stone because you don't see the nice stuff. But I want to show you the nice stuff. This is $68 a strand, lot Gem 37. Gem 37. This is faceted sodalite. Isn't it beautiful?
Do you think it gets a bad rap?
I think so too, because it's almost the same as lapis, right? It's got that blue, it's got some of that white, just missing the little gold. And even some lapis barely has that. And yet you say sodalite versus lapis, and you know what people are going to do. All right, so these are graduated drops. Sandra says gorgeous. They are. And they have a beautiful shine to them, a beautiful facet on them. So there's one strand. And then I'm going to show you the other strand. Let me get that out here real quick. And here is the other strand. Just about the same. I think this strand's a little bit heavier in the carat weight. So maybe a little touch bigger on the bead size, but not by much. These, I think more of this strand has a little bit more of the orange you sometimes see in the sodalite. There's a few spots where it has some of that orange, which some of you may like, maybe you don't.
Just a hand.
Yeah, like right there across that one and a little bit down there. But beautiful, beautiful sodalite. Lot Gem 37. These are $68 each. $68 each. All right, and you get the 10% off if you order by tomorrow's live.
A lot of the faceted stones, they have to do it by hand, so that's why there's a lot more price. And also, they have to cut more away, so that also adds to the price.
Mm-hmm.
With like rounds and stuff, they have machines that can do rounds.
Do you know, Andrew, what the orange is in sodalite offhand? Sandra's asking.
I know there's orange sodalite. I'm imagining it's some kind of iron.
I was going to say, it seems like it would be an iron, right? Whew. Now this, y'all, not a cheap date. Not a cheap date, but stunningly beautiful. This is beryl. Beryl / aquamarine, which is the same stone. These are graduated, faceted rondelles of gorgeous clarity. This is aquamarine and beryl. Look at the clarity, y'all. Now the stones are not perfect, right? You would pay a lot more if they were exactly perfect. But I love the faceting on this. It's like a micro faceting.
So apparently, I just did a quick search. The orange is actually it's veins of feldspar, which is basically sunstone.
Okay, so there you go.
When sodalite and sunstone grows together and put in the matrix.
There you go. But look how clear these are. Look. Oh, you can see right through to the core. You can see my finger on the other side. Imagine having aquamarine that clear. And this is aquamarine mostly. The blue and the clear is probably aquamarine, but it's a mix of beryl as well, other beryls. And this is one strand available, only one, Gem 38, $275. $275. Sandra says, thanks, Andrew. So there it is, $275, one strand available. Just to give you an idea, these go approximately from 7 millimeters to the largest one down here is 13 to 14 millimeter. So they just about double in size from here down to the biggest one here. I'm going to give you one more close-up look. Bonnie says, I wish I could, but I still need a potty. You're talking to the right people. We get it. And there it is. All right.
I was just looking at how sunstone gets its red, or its orange, and it says that it's from either elemental copper, which means when it's like a native copper, when it grows like as copper. Sometimes when you have copper that grows with a stone, it turns it green or blue. Mm-hmm. But with this one, the elemental copper, it's like that orangey red color. Or from hematite, which is from iron. And hematite, when most people think of hematite, they think of like black magnets. But hematite crystals are actually a vivid red color. Like when you get hematoid quartz crystals.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Bonnie says, I wouldn't want to sell those. I know, right? I know. Okay, last lot of the evening, lot Gem 39. Lot Gem 39. These are $210 each. And we said, Sandra, you're looking for lemon quartz.
This is a very good price, yeah.
Exceptionally good price. Old pricing. Old pricing. Look at this. Let me see. Is it better? That's better. Let's take away all that. Let's blind ourselves a little bit with beauty. This is
too much, William.
Too much. Too much. Look at these
like little egg shapes.
Big nuggets. Faceted nuggets.
And it's a checkered facet, most of them.
Checkered facet and non-dyed natural lemon quartz. I have not one, but 2 strands of it. 2 strands of it. It was too beautiful to let stay there. Marianne says, holy yellow. Carla says, those are keepers to pass to your granddaughter. Lena says, whoa. Suzanne says, stunning.
Like crown jewel style.
Yeah, look at that. They look like glass, y'all. They're so perfectly clear and beautifully yellow. They look like glass.
Way to sell it, William.
I mean, well, you know, like you don't usually see gemstones like that.
Usually when we buy stones, we get like the ones that has the inclusions and stuff, and we're like, oh, we love the character. But I think the thing that makes these, that why we pick these, is that the shape for one.
The shape is a good shape. It's a rough, like nuggety, beautiful shape.
Yeah, this is a particularly special kind of stone. Like it's got enough character on the shape and the kind of facets and the way that it is, and the color too.
Yeah, these are clear. Talk about clarity.
Transparent.
Transparent. And so, like, these are high-end stones, y'all.
It's not the.
This is stuff that probably should be 2 times that price at least, probably more.
I think they felt sorry for me.
Probably you were, yeah, you felt sorry because they know we usually try to buy more.
And then also I looked bedraggled, y'all.
He was worn out.
And plus I went to that one vendor probably 4 or 5 times throughout the weekend, and I kept looking at these.
Sandra says, you were not kidding.
Yeah, you want the taste of sunshine? Here you go.
Yeah, that is absolutely magnificent.
If you don't like lemon, call it citrus.
Citrus quartz, right? I don't know. That is
got some tang on it.
That is when stones are so perfect, they look like clear glass. That the price is right on this. The price is right.
Make some crown jewels. Here you go.
That's right. You just let's just use one, right? Pendant right there. Yeah, there's a pendant. Use it all, Anderson. He's like, here, make a bracelet with it. Look at that. That would be a fun bracelet. That'd be like a Flintstone bracelet, right? I would wear that.
The queen.
Look at that. But that's nice. That's nice. So there you go. That is the last lot of the evening, lot Gem 39. They are $210 a piece.
There's a lot of material too.
And remember, $21 off that. They're under $100 or under $200 if you buy them before tomorrow. So there you go. Sandra says, what lot was the aqua? The barrel aqua? That was just the one before this. That was Gem 38, and they were $275. Did I have any others? I think that was the only aqua tonight, right? Yeah. The other was prasiolite earlier. So that was lot Gem 38, $275 for that, the aqua / barrel. All right. So let me flip this camera around. We'll say a quick goodbye. And I will be compiling any emails we get for any of these in probably the next hour or so. Oh, hold on, let me move. There we go. Now we're not so bright. So I will hopefully get invoices if you order tonight. Within the next hour or 2, you should get an invoice tonight as well. I've been trying to invoice every night. So that you all get your invoices fast. Now, if you wait until the next day, you're not going to get in the invoicing until the next night. That's kind of how it works. But hopefully you like all this. Carlos said, I just started to call you Wilma, right? Wilma Flintstone. Michelle says, need to go, AG. Hopefully you're okay over there. See you. Thank you for joining us. Suzanne says, how wonderful. Thanks. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Our tech talk. And then the gemstones. I will be invoicing, then these will go into the online store. So after tomorrow, once the 10% discount ends, tomorrow night or maybe Wednesday during the day at the store, I will take photographs of whatever is left and put them in the online store. Please do note that sometimes when I put them in the online store, the price goes up from even what's on the tag. Because if I have to take pictures of it, make listings for it, edit all those pictures, get them all up, and then advertise them on Facebook and everywhere else. It's a little bit more work, so we charge a little bit more money.
And it takes more of a fee.
Yes, it does take more of a fee too to do all that through the online store. And you all, you get the best price for watching us live, and we appreciate that. So thank you all so very much for tuning in. I hope you had a great start to your week so far, and I hope that daylight savings isn't throwing daylight saving time. I was corrected last year when I said daylight savings time. I hope.
Sounds like a bank.
I know, right? Daylight
Savings
saving.
and loan.
Right. So I hope it hasn't thrown too many of you for a loop. For those of you who do switch times, I'm enjoying it. Look, it's still light out, and we are ending.
It's that time.
It is not. It's still light, and it is
Tripping.
And it's the end of our life, and it's not completely dark, which is crazy, right? So anyway, have a great one, y'all, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful one. And Andrew will be back here tomorrow with a demo/tutorial of something. If you have any suggestions for what you'd like to see him do or teach, put it in the comments, and he'll take a look at those. All right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Bye, everybody.
See ya.